What is going on, Neon Nation, and welcome back to the Neon Arcade. In today's Cyberpunk 2077 news, we're talking about cut content, game length, and clarification from a dev about these elements in Cyberpunk as well as in video game development in general, hints at a special quest featuring Johnny Silverhand's iconic Porsche, as well as unpacking CDPR's 21-day delay announcement. First up, yes, we got hit with yet another Cyberpunk delay 23 days from launch, extending our wait 21 days to December 10th. CDPR cites difficulties with preparing 9 versions of the game, where they have to prepare the game for current gen, next gen, and PC while working from home. Making each version run smoothly is their primary goal, and they're willing to make every decision, even the hardest ones. Personally, this one for me was pretty deflating, I will not lie. Obviously, the onus lies on the shoulders of management, who need the foresight and communication to meet deadlines. Internal communication has been a sore spot for CDPR, with developers not knowing of the delay until seeing it on Twitter, as well as mishaps like this. Now, I know CDPR higher-ups are always trying to go for the bleeding edge, revolutionizing the industry, but changes of direction do need to flow realistically into proper time pipelines. With that being said, once the game is out, assuming it gets similar feedback to what was said about the game via previews, I'd imagine people will come back around. When you think of The Witcher 3, the multiple delays it underwent doesn't really come to mind, so for most people, I'd imagine that with Cyberpunk it will be the same. CDPR also hosted an investors call like they always do post-delay announcement, so let's go over the standout points and clear some confusion at the same time. In a question about the delay and being confident in the December date, Adam Kaczynski mentions that the game is ready for the PC and plays great on next-gen consoles, but that they are finalizing the process for current gen, indicating that the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One is the cause for the delay. He mentions that releasing on the 19th is possible as well, but the additional 21 days will allow for them to address the technical matters of current gen. Michael Nowakowski jumps in to mention that people have been playing the game, most recently in Japan, and they've mentioned that the game is unlike anything that they've played before. When it comes to future projects, organizational changes on the tech side will happen according to Adam Kaczynski, and that the game, in his words, is a next-gen game that they're preparing for current gen. This one honestly caught me a little bit off guard just because of how many times CDPR have stated their focus was current gen. The duo also asserts that on the tech side, the game should have been playable at an earlier stage, since the scope meant that there were a lot of things to do that were backloaded. In a question about multiplayer, CDPR states that they have initial prototypes, but that it is a separate project. A question about how confident they are with this new date was asked, to which Kaczynski responds that they feel secure and mentions that the release only happens once and that first impressions are crucial. He adds that they don't feel comfortable but confident and will be releasing on the 10th of November. I think people have been stretching this particular statement a little bit too much, and I think this is actually in reference to their personal disappointment in setting the date back versus them not being confident in December 10th. Kaczynski mentions in regards to crunch that it's actually not that bad and never was, something that he would catch flack for and have to apologize for later on. CD Projekt is aiming for a 90+ Metacritic, and yes, there will be an extra marketing budget due to this delay. In a question about potentially splitting the release dates of current and next gen, this is not an option as CDPR would like to release everything at once. It is how the team operates, and it's also more sound from a marketing perspective. Just in case you were confused, they also clarified that the true next gen version of Cyberpunk with all the bells and whistles will come out later, but that the current gen game runs via backwards compatibility on next gen consoles very well. Again, this just means that the tech of past gen consoles and the scope of Cyberpunk are not meshing together very nicely. Ending the Q&A, they mentioned that expansions will not be impacted by this 21-day delay. Before we move on, if you've been looking forward to the Cyberpunk Red full release, nothing has changed on this front. I will be sharing more details on this when it's time, and Cyberpunk Red is definitely something you guys are going to want to look out for if you're looking to get into the lore or the tabletop RPG. Moving on, we have a statement via Miles Tost on another contentious topic, which are cut features. With a fair amount of misinformation about cut features, Miles mentions in a Discord post that, quote, "We never had dual wielding and I've said my words on Techie so often. Not sure what else to say about it other than if you're unsure, please wait for reviews, check whoever you trust after it launches and get their input. Not every game is for everyone, we don't have the power to change that. No one is forcing you to buy the game day one, and no one at CDPR wants you to be disappointed with a game you might not enjoy. Cutting features is a very normal part of development. You can witness it so openly with our game because we happily gave into our community wishes and showed you that 2018 demo. Think about it, the game was 2 years from release. Of course we iterate and change stuff, and of course we will have ideas that sound great on paper, but then doesn't end up working out well in the game with all the other features. Witcher 3 we also cut a ton of stuff, but in the end, it all made the game better. Now I understand this is disappointing for everyone when it happens, and is also difficult to understand without all the context of the development environment, but in this case I kindly ask you for your trust. Just look at the stories of so many other games you might enjoy. Believe me when I say that during their development, some loved features also were cut, and you still enjoy them today, maybe even because of the cuts. In the end, it's all about how much fun the game and its systems provide you, and we are doing our best to make sure it's as great an experience as it can be. Miles adds that if you worry about the amount of content on our game, please don't. We're notoriously bad at judging how long game time is in our games, so we try not to do that anymore. But I can only keep saying what I've been saying in the past. You guys have seen nothing yet. Moving on, we have a brief statement from global community lead Marcin Momot in regards to the last couple of Night City wars giving off a GTA 2077 vibe. To this, Marcin responds with, quote, "Cyberpunk 2077 is a fully fledged RPG with choice and consequences that matter, deep character progression, and an awesome story on par with the ones from the Witcher games. Also, this game is very dark, which you will see on November 19th. Now obviously it's not the 19th anymore, but regardless you get the picture. This is a dark game on par with The Witcher 3. Remembering back to the ESRB ratings board, Cyberpunk actually rated higher in terms of themes, with 2077 being high impact versus Witcher 3 which just had strong impact. Moving on, we have a couple of rapid fire topics, the first being a new screenshot from Polish YouTuber Rojson featuring his likeness in an ad for Combat Cab, as well as some hints via lead quest designer Paweł Sasko that there is a quest incorporating Silverhand's iconic 911 Porsche. Moving right along here, we have details about supported languages for consoles, so I'm going to pop that up on screen for you guys. Feel free to pause this one to look for support for your preferential language. That is all I got for you guys today. Have a fantastic weekend. See you on Sunday at the Community Podcast, and for more Cyberpunk, join Neon Nation by subscribing to the Neon Arcade.